And to discuss this development further, we are joined live from the USA by Dr. Hamoud Salhi, Associate Dean Professor of International Education at California University. Thank you, sir, for agreeing to be with us.
Thank you, Karim.
So, Dr. Hamoud Salhi, what were your first thoughts on hearing this? Is it reasonable for President Joe Biden to express concerns about a peaceful transfer of power, given Donald Trump's rhetoric?
Yeah, and it's a serious issue for the American elections. As an example, we had a 2020 election results almost 4 years later, and the current administration has refused to accept them. The current presidential Republican candidate has refused to accept them. It's a possibility, and I think it's a serious concern. It's also where you get among the people who are not supportive of Donald Trump.
So what impact do public sentiments and rhetoric from political leaders have on the perception, let's say, of election legitimacy and the potential for civil unrest?
They are huge. It's part of building that image in the public eye. The trick is to appear as you are one of them. Bush was known, for example, to be someone you could have in the American tradition, a beer at the end of the day. Reagan was a cowboy that you could be and compare him to John Wayne, another American actor. And then you have another one, Jimmy Carter, who was known for his modesty. He was working very, very hard. He's the most hard-working in American presidential. He was not liked. They thought of him as someone who is not presidential. So the persona, the public, is very, very important, particularly these days with the social media. The challenge is to translate that persona into political action in terms of voting and so on and so forth.
And given the political scene in the U.S., Dr. Hamoud Salhi, we see that probably former President Donald Trump and the Democratic candidate Kamala Harris are probably neck to neck here in opinion polls. But then do you see a solid shot for Donald Trump to make it again in the office?
It's really very hard because remember, he lost by 7 million popular vote. This doesn't mean that Donald Trump is not a legitimate candidate, despite his trouble, despite his problem. This is an election, and it's hard to say it, but it appears to me it's an election for the Democrats to lose. In other words, the supporter of Trump have not changed, still that same core of people. The Democrats have challenges or issues that they could rally the mass, the young, the women, and so on and so forth. So there is a possibility for them to do well in this election. The challenge for them, for the Democrat, is to get the young people to go and vote. And if we have a large turnout, as we have seen in 2020, the Democrats have a chance. But if it is a low turnout, then Donald Trump has. Much of what we've seen these days is a reaction of the Democrat having Harris, who brings energy, all of that. This will continue for the next week or so, particularly in 10 days when we have the Democrat convention. So they have some few days after that to be energetic, appearing to be gaining ground on Trump. But in the end, when things settled, then that's where things could either change for the Democrat or against them. But Karim, in my perception, this election, the Democrats have to win it based on the total numbers that they won in the difference in popular vote in the past, and the inability or the appearance that Donald Trump is not gaining more supporters.
Dr. Hamoud Salhi, Associate Dean Professor of California University, thank you so much for being with us.